Hey guys, I'm Rafa, and I guess just to get straight off the bat, today I'm talking about Divisions by Kyell. If I can hold it without declaring. Um, so I read Divisions a few months ago, and I tried a few times to record a video, and I just took curses. I'm like, ah. So it's been a week, so hopefully that's done, and I can talk about it now. Um, so yeah, I read it a few months ago, and it was because I was reading the Our Position series, so I was going through the books because it's been a while, and so yes, divisions continues to get into it continues on from isolation play, and isolation play ends with a lot more openness compared to how Out of Position ended. Yeah, yeah, that's the rest is, and and so from that point, you could definitely tell it was going to be a bit more than just another sequel. So, Isolation Play ended with. Oh, yeah, that's right. Lee making up with Dead's parents, kind of, and some issues resolved there, and whatever. And so, Divisions opens up, and we get back to Lee, and we check how his parents are doing, and it opens that they're not doing very well, like, at all. Um, Lee's at a dinner at some country house restaurant or place for Thanksgiving, while Dev's with his family, and Lee's dad breaks it to him that he's getting a divorce with Lee's mum. So that sets a very it sets a rain cloud on Lee for the rest of the book, actually the rest of the series, because it affects a lot of his decisions decisions as he goes on. Um, so yeah, that's pretty heavy off the bat, and the, I guess to summarize the rest of the events of the book, it deals mostly with Lee's place in his life and Dev's life, because like the first two books kind of yeah, they're both about Dev and Lee, but mostly they were very centralized to Dev and Dev's career of football, and isolation play really kind of showed a little bit out of position in isolation play, where it really showed like Lee wasn't really kind of sure, yeah, he's interested in the scouting job, but like, is he kind of doing that just to be close to Dev and be in the world, or what? Um, and so Divisions is definitely a lot heavier focus on Lee, because yeah, we turning our lens on Lee mostly. You see that he's not too sure about his place in, well, in his place in life or whatever, and so he's so after the events of isolation play, he lost his scouting job with the Dragons, and ever since then, he's like, he knows he doesn't, like, he could just be, the boyfriend or husband that lives with the star football player, but he doesn't want to do that because it seems very hollow for him, and he knows that because yeah, he knows that the other football player, the other football player wives, he hates that term. Um, they do little things and they do their charities, and that's what they focus on. And like he he was there's a little bit of a point where it's kind of what Dev would like him to do, because it's the least amount of distraction to do his gay activism with a charity spin, but Lee's definitely not comfortable with that, because yeah, as you go through divisions, you see that um, he's a bit pissy at himself because he's not doing as much Activision work as he kind of promised to himself back in college. There is a line, I'm pretty sure it's in Divisions, where he specifically says that, where if he met his college self would be like, what, why are you doing this? Why are you not doing more? And he's like, you'd understand if you got here. A little bit of inner turmoil there. And yeah, so to get back into Activision, I think to get back into activism, um, he at least because oh fuck because he shit. Taking a step or two back, during the course of divisions, because he doesn't really have a job in Hilltown anymore, working for the Dragons or whatever. Um, he moves in with Dev down to Chivali, and because there isn't too much work with gay rights activism in Chivali other than the Equality Now group, which Brian is a part of, because Brian lives down in Trevally. So he's kind of forced to the ultimatum that if he really wants to do good work, he has to go through Brian to get there. Um, and of course, Dev is not happy with that idea. Like he really just like it if Lee just cut Brian from his life because Brian is not really a positive influence. So yeah, bringing it back up to speed on Lee, there is that sharp focus on him, on his place, because he's not really sure about much. Not even that sure about his relationship in contrast to his parents having the divorce. Because he says a lot more plainly in the later books where it's like, what's the point of going through all this if Dev and I are just going to break up a few years down the line? Or, if we can see the cracks now, then why should we persist? And there's resolution with that in the later books. Or that question, really. And I guess that mostly wraps up Lee and what he goes through with the book, in the book. Um, and then I guess turning our focus to Dev, it's kind of more simpler. He's just focusing on getting through the football season and doing the best he can without as many distractions, so his team can get through. He can help his team get through the divisions and into the championship. Um, Now, okay, I will say this is that when I originally read the books through, I had no idea how like the structure of the American Football Championship worked, or much sports anyway. And then when I read this through again, I'm like, look, I need to sit myself down and actually read on how the championship structure works. So, knowing how it works, they get through on a wild card through their division to end up in or they get in their division to get to the divisions, which leads to the championship, which is basically they got second place. They were gonna get like first place, but they lost out by like a few points in their last game, which affected their overall ranking. And because the other team won, and there's a whole thing about the Karina Knights towards the end, which is pretty cool. Where Gerard's basically like, yeah, they're shit, but don't let they've been shit all season, but don't let your guard down. Classic Gerard. Um, and yeah, so he's mostly focusing on that, and his commitments to other people. Um, and yeah, so I think Divisions is definitely the starting point in the series where I really loved a lot of the supporting characters. So I guess to go into it, there's my favorite supporting character or side character, whatever, is the Swift Fox reporter, the Swift Fox reporter Hal, who was introduced in the last book, but he gets a bit more screen time and even more screen time in the next book Uncovered. And I really loved him. We also get to meet Lightning Strike, who's another one of my favorite characters, and I was thinking about because his big thing is he's got like he dyes his fur and does patterns and shit. And one thing I was thinking about the other day is there's a scene where it talks about he steps out of the sour nude while someone's giving a speech, and Dev looks over and he's got like a little a sunburst dye pattern around his sheath. And Dev's like feeling and trying to like, oh my god, it is everywhere. So that's always pretty fun. Um, there's some other, I guess there's other cool things like the whole Corset Boulevard scene. I always liked Lee's father. Brenly, he's always pretty cool. Um, is this the one? Is it this one or was it the last one? Oh yeah, shit. This is the one. Okay, this is the one where um, actually that's okay. I can't remember, but I'm trying to think of the point where Lee. Oh, I guess it was this book. Like the just well Lee's point where his mother hit their lowest, um, where she was as openly against his homosexuality as she is at this point in the book, and I think this is really just it. I think a lot of it was just really drifting and passive before. Oh, I guess it was. It's more at the start. Actually, what I'm trying to think of is more at the start of the book because it's been a while since they've called, and and Lee's father's like, look, you need to call your mother. It's like it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever, and he's like, fine, and he's taking his father's side in the whole divorce, even though that's the last thing that Lee's father wants him to do. And yeah, they have a heated argument. I think that's the point I'm trying to think and get at. But yeah, it hits the lowest towards the end of the book when he goes back home to get some of his stuff. And if anyone's read Waterways, Corey's mother's there, Mrs. Headley. And yeah, she's not a happy lady. And yeah, so yelling insurers. I don't know. You'll probably read it yourself. It's a pretty cool scene, and I know I was angry at her when I read it, but I saw a lot of where Lee's father was coming from. I feel like if I had to feel bad for everyone in that situation, probably I'd feel the worst for Lee's mother, and then his father second. I think Lee's definitely been a very very rash there, but not completely unwarranted with what happens. But yeah, I do want to stamp on Miss Headley's hat. That bitch. Um, yeah, and I think that will mostly sum it up. Like it is very a bridging story. Yeah. I don't know. It has a nice ending. Brian gets his comeuppance towards the end. As 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 pedestrian as the scene is, it's a pretty cool scene. Um, yeah, I think that's yeah. I think that's pretty much it. Um, I don't know. It's just a bit. It's just a bit awkward to summarize a book that's like the third in a series of five. Like, you ain't gonna stop there and you ain't gonna start there. But no, it is a great book in the series. Um, it is. I don't know. I still for the cover, which is illustrated by the lovely Blotch again. Um, it is definitely my favorite. Just because all the detail and the really coolness of it all. There's like so many little things. Which I think there's a full res version up on FA or something like that. And I think in terms of story, I think I still like Uncovered a little bit more because it has a lot of Hal. But just for that fact, but yeah. Um, so anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So I've been Rafa, and I'll catch you later.